at a time.
Welcome back to One Leg at a Time, the podcast about health, wellness, fun, recovery, and music. I'm Dr. Deen Anbar, and I'm interviewing other musicians and creatives about their process, their priorities, and the things that they do to achieve their goals. And today we have one of the coolest dudes I know, Paul Cherry. Yeah, that's right. How's it going,
Thank you, man. I'm gonna take that praise.
You should.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with it. And
You are a cool dude.
Thank you, man.
That was kind of the first thing that I thought about you when I met you in real life. I was like, this dude's really fucking cool.
Cool in what sense?
You just present as cool.
That's
look
awesome.
at the glasses and the hair and this. Like, we're gonna have to get like a close up of the glass, like the whole thing.
I'm going for like a low ego cool.
I don't believe that you have an ego, and like you've never been egotistical to me, which is almost part of the reason why I've always kind of felt like out-cooled by you. Like,
Yes, that's been part of my self-work.
Is that true?
That's very 100% true.
Interesting.
I've been like very much on a quest to drop irony and drop ego for the last few years, but all the while hold the cool level.
Yeah.
And that has been an interesting and fun journey. And I think I'm starting to get results based on like I see people say that kind of thing to me, which is kind of the desired result.
Well, it's funny because I've heard this, like people have said this to me about me, which is that I can come off as off-putting, which I don't really know how to even take that. Maybe off-putting is not the right word, but I can, like with you, I've always kind of felt like, I'm like, this guy's so fucking cool. I'm like, what can I even offer or like add to what you've got going on? Like,
Well,
and I've loved working with you for the past couple of months since we've gotten to know each other and stuff. Like, it's always been awesome. But I'm like, who is this guy?
I've been actively working on trying to not need anything from anybody. Like, it's something I work really hard at, is like not actively needing something or wanting something from anybody or being detectably thirsty in any way, and like dropping the thirst.
Yeah.
I've been kind of obsessed with this concept of hunger and thirst.
Yeah.
And how they're the same thing, but they present in radically different ways. Where like if somebody's hungry in their career or in quest for friendship or love or whatever like that is chasing, hunger is perceived as like noble. Or like, oh, like you got to get that guy in your circle. He's hungry, you know, like
Yeah.
you want that guy in your band because he's hungry. He wants it.
Yeah.
But if you got a guy who's thirsty, it's the same thing. It's like that guy wants it so bad, but it's the negative version. It's like the yin yang or the flip side of the coin. Where it's
Totally.
like, you don't want that guy in your band. He's thirsty.
You know, it's so funny because this has come up with other people who are like, you know, in my sort of sphere, and it is like ultimately you're right, it's the flip side of the same coin, and it's not like one is it's kind of comes down to how you like present yourself, right, and the impression that people are left with, because the thirsty thing, it repels people, I feel like.
Yes, and I'm in a position where I have to hire people to do jobs.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like, how do you manage this in the position that you're in?
It's so weird because it's I'm hiring people to do music jobs and they don't pay as well as I would like them to pay, but I'm also not the one whose money it is.
Yeah.
I've been caught in this in-between a lot where I'm like, oh man, like I wish I could pay you more, but it's not really my part of the conversation to have.
Yeah.
All I can say is like, I'd like for you to come join me. If you'd like to join, this is what we can do. And I'm also looking for people who go above and beyond what the pay is even calling for, but those in the ways in which that you go above and beyond, they're kind of invisible.
Yeah.
So I've been like, I don't know, I've been able to draw people towards me that excite me, I think just by being a combination of excited, not thirsty, and I don't even really know, but I've been trying to crack in the music world, and I've gotten a lot of dead ends, you know, and you hit a lot of
Yeah,
dead
I mean, you
ends
kind of
and-
have to be willing to just like hit a wall and then like, all right, next.
Yeah, and I've started realizing that things start working for me when I don't want anything, like really at my core, don't want anything from anybody, don't need anything from anybody. That would be awesome if that happened.
Yeah.
But like, to make it my whole desperation to get this one thing to happen, to crack, that would mean everything to me. Like, I'm 33 and I just don't think in that kind of way anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to not think that way.
I think you're right. And I think that it's the hard thing is the actual application of it. I was going to ask you about that. Something that I always think about is like when for a while, I was like obsessed with trying to be able to do a handstand. And I was, someone was kind of coaching me through like the first time I was trying to like get my balance, and I was never really able to do it, but I was like kind of getting frustrated, and they were like, that moment is past, like, you know, try again, and like, don't bring that frustration into the next attempt. And it's like, but it's so like right now, like, and that's kind of like life. That's kind of like exactly what we're doing is like, you know, you get a rejection or someone says no or something that you wanted to try out. It's just like not working for whatever reason. It's like, well, gotta move on, you know, and like not take any of that frustration into the next moment, you know?
Yeah. I have been very good at that so far lately. I had a moment this week where I kind of returned to small child. I did a session with this artist, and like, I'm not going to name who it was, but she came in and she said something like, I've been doing 7 sessions a week. And I'm a producer, songwriter, obviously trying to crack in and get cuts. And she's like, she's got, you know, a few million monthly listeners. I'm like, this is I should do this.
Yeah, that's great.
And this is a classic example of, I just think I should do this because the numbers look good and not because like, this is what I'm actually passionate about. So it was a lesson learned the hard way. Cause I have publishing. So I work with this company called Cobalt, and I have an A&R who sets me up with sessions with people who are also signed with Cobalt or in some way related to that.
And these are sessions that you're producing.
And I'll be producing, writing, and they'll happen at my studio, which shout out Honeymoon Suite Studios.
Great studio. We just had an awesome experience recording there.
Yes,
I've been talking about that like to anyone who will listen since we did it.
It was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were working with Woody and Jeremy, Woody Goss from the band Wolfpack. We were doing his solo music, and I had hired Deen to come play guitar on those sessions, and it turned out really great.
Well, we recorded the whole record to 1-inch tape, which I've had the experience of recording something that then got transferred to tape digitally, but like, I've never worked on a whole record straight to tape like that. It was sick.
It's so sick.
It was crazy.
It's the sickest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally the sickest.
And like the mental place that it puts you in of like just the decision making, you know, of very final product oriented, and just the vibe of hearing it played back, and it's like, all right, you know,
it's better.
It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the right thing for everybody.
It's not.
But it was really cool to be brought onto a project like that.
I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, yeah. Man, yeah.
I was just like, I've been chasing simplicity, chasing tape. And once I got that 1-inch machine up and running, it was like, okay, this is what I do. I do this now.
Yeah. Have you had other sessions using that machine?
Yeah, I have. Nice. And I've been really enjoying it. I just recorded all of my songs in a reggae style on that machine. But anyway, back to this session I did. I got in with this girl. She told me that she'd been doing 7 sessions a week, and she was kind of fried. And I had done that before, and I didn't. Miss P,
what's up?
Do you
want to come up here? You want to come up?
There we go.
All right.
And she was all totally fried and burnt out.
We're definitely going to go viral now. Because she knows I'm dressed like Mark Zuckerberg from the Theo Von interview. That's why she's just like, hi.
But anyway, she just was super fried out, and she didn't want to write lyrics, and she didn't want to write a song. And so I just ended up like sitting in front of her and writing a song for her that she didn't really like, and I could tell, but I didn't also really like it that much, but it was just like, I guess I have to write a song for you. And then I cut like a scratch guitar, and then she sang the song like 3 times on the mic, and then she just had to go. abruptly, like, oh, I have to go now.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, bye. And it was super awkward. And
Yeah.
I left that day feeling bad about myself. Like, when it was the first day in like years where I felt like, oh, I feel really bad about myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling the story now and we're just riffing so hard that I don't even remember why I was telling it.
We were talking about not needing things from people or appearing thirsty or like kind of putting things together.
And I think I like took that session because at my core I was a little bit thirsty. I was like, oh, this looks like a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Good. This girl's popping and I should do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go great.
Yeah.
But then it just was a lesson learned. Like, I've been closing my circle. Like, since I moved to LA 4 years ago, it was very open when I first moved here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been closing it and closing it and closing it. And as I close it, I get better results with the people I do work with.
Yeah.
And opening it up, you're going to learn that you shouldn't do that. You should only open your circle up for the right reasons. And like that truth, like knowing that inner truth of like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll sometimes try to do that. I'll DM artists if I think it's going to be a really good collaboration, and I'll be like, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And I have made great friends doing that off of like that knowing in my heart that like that I found this person online. I feel spiritually aligned with them. I think that they'll message me back and I think we'll be able to make something cool together.
Yeah.
That's worked out for me.
Yeah. You're reaching out for the right reasons. You're going, this is a creative partnership or collaboration that can yield the kind of a result that I want to put out into the world. Not just like, I'm going to try to piggyback off of your numbers so that there will be some spillover into my visibility for whatever reason. You've talked about that you don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel like you also do like hella drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I can't, like, I don't do
You're
it
totally
anymore.
sober.
I'm totally sober.
Yeah.
And like going through emotional ups and downs with like partnerships and stuff like that. It sucks because like you kind of have to face that stuff in the moment, especially someone like me who's like, I'm such an escapist and like, you know, we'll still try to find ways to do that, like even within the spectrum of being sober. And like, you know, you just kind of have to deal with those
What
things.
does that look like, escaping in a sober space?
Running 10 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hardcore one.
It's the best.
I'm sure.
And then you can just like, you feel like you're like on pills for the rest of the day.
I'm personally on a journey towards total sobriety, but I'm just taking it really slowly.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's what's vibey for me to do.
It is a vibe, and like and it kind of is going in line with the things that you're talking about in terms of like, you know, want for nothing, like present as, you know, as even and go through the universe that way. Cause then you apply that to what you're taking in, and it's just like, I actually don't really need anything right now. And like being sober, like I still struggle with like binge eating from time to time or whatever, like kind of, again, it's that thing I have to remind myself, like, I don't need anything right now. Like, you know, I just go ham on shit.
You go all in and you go hard.
I go all in and I go hard.
I know you're really good at guitar, so I can tell that you like treat life like that.
What's interesting though is like you are also really good at guitar, and I feel like you're really good at everything. And I've been curious about how you got to the musical like life that you're living, because it's so non-standard and different from the one, like the path that I chose. Like I was also like, you know, totally into like whatever deep cuts as much as I could be, and like I just ended up getting like bit by this musicianship bug that I really wanted to like get as good as I could at playing guitar for a while, you know. So like I feel like we're zigzagging a little bit, but I was actually like explicitly curious about this with you. It's like, how does a person from like the, you know, outside of Chicago, which we share that in common, like how do you end up where you're at with like DJing and live streaming and dubbing and like producing and like doing all of this other like cool shit?
Well, I think I've hit individual dead ends with every like sub path of music.
What does that look like? Like, what's a dead end to you that I might have thought was a dead end and just plowed through?
Well, I made this album in 2022 called Back on the Music, and it's like a very intensely music school album, because this is just one example, but I worked like I worked like my fingers to the bone on it. Like I went crazy hard in the paint on it.
Was it just you?
No, it was me and JoJo and Woody Goss helped on it,
cool,
and my friend Matt, and it was like the 4 of us in Chicago, and it was just I gotta show everybody how smart I am, and like with music. And it's a pretty crazy album. Honestly, I think it's amazing, but I was like peak ego, and I was like, this is gonna fucking change everything. And then it didn't. I dropped it and it did okay, and I did a big tour on it or 2, and it just was like weirdly unsatisfying, and it was kind of this feeling of like, I've shown everybody how smart I am, and now great, they know that I'm smart. And like that felt like a dead end weirdly. Like my big idea was so important to me. Oh, they're gonna know how smart and shit I am. And it was like what left me feeling like hollow and empty and like unrelatable in a lot of ways. Like, oh cool, now I'm smarter than you to you.
I want to know what smart music sounds like. Now I'm so curious what this record is.
I'll play you a tune later.
Yeah,
just the opening song off the album is fucking crazy.
Like, what are we talking? Odd time signatures? Are we orchestrating for non-standard ensembles? What?
Just like really, really fast and intense chord changes, but I'm finding really pop melodies over them. So it just feels like an onslaught of like, whoa, you know?
It sounds like cool shit.
It is cool.
But it also sounds like you were maybe thirsty for a result.
I was.
Not thinking artistically as much as just conceptually.
I was thinking artistically, but in a big brain way, and not in like I'm literally just trying to connect. So that was like this lesson learned the hard way about like, what is music doing? Or like, what is music supposed to do in my life? Is it supposed to like be this vessel where I put my ego into and I show everybody how cool and smart I am? Or and that wasn't working. I followed that up with a smooth jazz album that was even cooler and even more obscure.
I love that.
And there's this Paul Cherry's Pure Grooves Volume 1 that lives out there. That's a actual like hi-fi digital smooth jazz record, straight like live band that I produced and arranged, and it's all instrumental.
Talking like foreplay,
like foreplay,
90s George Benson,
like a lot like who's that guy? Jeff Lorber fusion.
Oh, that's sick.
Like I'm obsessed with Jeff Lorber fusion.
Yeah.
So
was that song Cities? I used to cover that. I remember transcribing that and being like, this is some of the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, I was living in Chicago and I was like so gassed on that sound.
Yeah.
And just wanting to show everybody that I could do that. But I never really was the jazzer that I thought I was. Like I didn't really have the chops. I mean, I have like decent chops, but like I can't hang. And I never put in the work like that. I was more like, I wanted to produce that or something. But anyway, all that kind of led me to when I moved to LA, I just kind of hit dead ends for the first 2 years with my music, and I got very frustrated. And then I kind of let it all fall away, and the DJing that I was doing was just kind of working, and I just decided to lean into what was working in my life and like be grateful and happy for it instead of trying to make things that weren't working work.
Yeah.
Which feels like obvious, but for many years it's not obvious. It's like, wait, why isn't this working? And I'm focusing on the things that aren't working instead of being grateful for the things that are, you know?
It's impossible to see, like, you know, where you are in the picture when you're in the middle of it. That perspective is tough. It's like, you know, the DJing thing, I had some friends, we were talking, like, especially when I lived in Bushwick, you know, I was right next to those McKibben lofts. Like, all my jazz friends also DJ'd. When I say all, I mean, like, I had like 2. But still, like, they were DJing. There was like parties all the time. They were like, you know, crate digging in Alphabet City, and like, I was like, this is really cool, and I kind of got bit by that bug, and like, I have a stack of vinyl from that time still at home that it's like, this was cool shit. I, you know, that like either I got turned on to, and then or just like, you know, find like any record cover of like 10 dudes wearing space suits, and if it was produced between like 78 and 82, like it was probably going to be sick, and if I didn't know what it was, like, yeah, even better. But like, I never had the follow through to make that a part of my life. I kind of just like, couldn't see where that would lead to, and so I just went back to like shedding my jazz licks.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know? So that's why I was sort of like interested in like what was the diverging path between where you're at and where I'm at.
Well, I had run into DJing when my own personal music was feeling like a dead end.
Yeah.
And DJing was really humbling because it showed me that like simple bangers just like connect.
Mm-hmm. They do go hard.
And like learning all of them.
Yeah.
And finding new ones every day, and then finding songs that like finding each song as like a little tool in your tool belt, and like what does this song do to everybody, and how do I learn to string these back to back for hours to create this experience that's like leaving people going like, oh my god, dude, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And that took me a couple of years to get to, but now my DJ sets really go hard. And I've been working on this like lately. Like my recent DJ thought that I've been kind of figuring out is when people really love familiarity, and like that's what everybody like in DJing, that's like the safe move is what's familiar. Oh, play stuff people know, play the hits. There is room to play new music to people, but you have to be really strategic about how to drop stuff on people in a way that feels inviting, where you want the result to be, oh my god, what song is this? Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
If you start your set with 4 of those, everyone's going to be like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, too obscure, not what we came for.
And there's certain songs that like, this is the real thought, is there's songs where the first time you hear it is the best time you hear it. And like, it's always going to be a mega banger every time you hear it, and you'll always be like, oh hell yeah. But the first experience of listening to that song for the first time is like what that song's all about.
Yeah.
So I've been like,
how do you determine whether a song is going to be like that or not?
it's like
Or
based on
can you?
how much euphoria I feel the first time I hear it.
Yeah, okay.
And so when I hear a song for the first time and it sends me like, oh man, like, oh fuck, you know, that I got a playlist for that.
Yeah.
And so now I've been working on like integrating that into my DJ sets at the right time, and I've been doing it and it's been working really well. Where like there's this song called We Don't Care by Audio Bullies, and it's a really cool song, but you would never listen to this song. You would never listen to it. Like, it's just, there's no reason to listen to this song.
Yeah.
But the first time you hear it at the club, it goes like this. There's things I haven't told you. I come out late at night and something. You see my different side.
Okay.
And it's just like, you drop
Little
that.
Andrew WK vibe is what I'm picking up here.
Like deep Berlin 6 a.m.
Okay, all right.
And you put that in the right spot, and nobody's heard that song, and everyone's like, oh.
You see the Shazams, like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the Shazams
the
go
blue
up.
screen.
That's how you know. That's like the modern day equivalent of a lighter going up.
It is.
It's the blue screen of a Shazam. What is this?
The DJing really helped my ego like drop in the best way. And then it kind of came up and it rebalanced. And you're like, I've been thinking a lot about this thought too, is for many years, I thought the performer was like the most special person. Like the person that we put on the stage is like the exalted, like the higher, the holier than thou person. And that's why we put them on the stage. So they like, I want to be the one on stage. I want to be exalted. Like I want to be up there, you know? And then I recently had this flip on it where I was like, wait, the person that's performing is doing a public service. Like they're performing hopefully just so that there can be a good performance to it be enjoyed. And like I've been treating my performance, or the way I'm going into performance now, as this like selfless act of joy bringing.
Sure.
Where like the point of me being up there is to connect everybody together and be the joy at the center.
Yeah.
But not be like to be obsessed over for that.
So like
Just-
to channel an experience,
Yeah.
and be like the connector rather than the, you know, the
Yeah.
sort of deity of like, I am your God now.
and I can be trusted with good vibes. That's the thing
Yeah.
I've been learning is like, you can trust me with good vibes. Like I will bring them.
Yeah.
And people have called me a vibes guy. And I think that when the first time
We literally called you the
That's how
vibes
we
guy.
started the episode.
Yeah.
yeah, when people started calling me that, I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I understand vibes more than anything. And I'm starting to understand energy really well. Mm-hmm. And if you can get vibes and energy down, I feel like that's kind of why you would say like that you think I'm cool. Mm-hmm. But it's just me being able to like be deeply in touch with vibes and energy. And and I think that everybody is hyper perceptive of it, but people don't know how to change stuff when it goes wrong, and two, sometimes people don't know how to like explain when the vibes are off very well, but people all feel the vibes shift. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people can't like
Put your finger on it.
put their finger on it or like really say instantly that the vibe has changed. Mm-hmm. Maybe it takes people a little longer, but I think that what I've been working on and chipping away at is my ability to just like immediately detect, oh, the vibe's changed, we got to get them back.
Sure.
Or, you know, having that kind of group awareness, trying to be like aware of what the group is experiencing so that things can be changed and for the better, or be like vibe management.
I think that is one of the things that I found initially challenging about you was the coolness thing, and I'll just defer to that word, but it's like there's something that you are in touch with, and like like you present in these cool things, but it never feels like a put on. It never felt like disingenuous or like, oh, like, you know,
that's good.
There's like some just sort of like hipster facade here that, you know, needs to be like cut through. It's like you are who you are.
Yes.
And I like that, you know,
It's
but it is
dope.
tough. And I think that, I do try to, like, I remember feeling, I mean, this is when I was younger, but like, you know, that thing where you kind of naturally will sort of change how you present yourself depending on who you're with, and like, you know, maybe talk a little different with some people versus other people. And I remember at a certain point, you know, like in my middle 20s being like, I don't like that. I want to feel like I can be who I am with, you know, whoever I'm with. And I recognize that too with you, but I can also see how that's tough for people because you're not really playing anyone's game.
I don't play anyone's game.
Yeah.
And I don't really change who I am around people.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing to read. Like, this is me.
Yeah. Not to just keep dwelling on this, but it's just funny.
I think part of it, being married, very helpful.
Yeah.
Being very like solid in my relationships.
How'd you meet your wife?
I met my wife at a Halloween party in 2015.
Wow.
Yep. And so we've been together ever since.
Because she's also from Chicago.
She's from Chicago.
Yeah.
And we moved out here like 4 years ago. And we've been married for 3 years, and it's been great. And I'm really in touch with my wife, and I'm like very much I'm often having thoughts that pass through my brain that are something like, everything is awesome. Mm-hmm. My life is amazing.
You want what you have.
Like, I can't believe that this is how it turned out. And also being like, how long is it going to last? You know, like there's something's going to give, but I'm just going to hang on and enjoy while it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And not feel guilty for enjoying. That's been another thing I'm working through, is just enjoying because you know something's going to break. You know something's going to go bad.
Yeah.
So why not just vibe out while it's good?
That's the struggle though, right? Is being able to like pause and appreciate things for what they are without taking it for granted or assuming that things are just going to stay the same forever. Kind of
I don't
playing
assume that
balance, you know.
I do not assume that things are going to be the same way forever.
Yeah.
I'm actually like thinking a lot about getting older, and I'm watching my parents and my wife's parents and how it's all playing out. I'm just like, it's going to get worse. Like, it's just not. It's just going to be not as good.
Yeah, but you're a little, I wouldn't worry about like the specifics of physically aging. Like, you've got a little while, you know. 33
is like peak spiritual Jesus age. Like, I am its peak strength.
Yeah.
I'm of peak like mental fortitude. Like,
well, that's how I feel now at like pretty close to 40. But the thing is, there's still things within that. I think that the consistency is the thing that gets me there. You know, like I'm pretty diligent about like every day I do at least something for myself. Like, you know, physically, I'm pretty good at making sure that I remember to do that. Mentally, spiritually, like those things can kind of fall through the cracks a little bit if I don't remind myself to do those things. But I was going to ask you if you have any like practices for getting into the zones that you want to be in. Because that
like
is
spiritually.
Yeah, like, you know, anything that kind of helps get you through, like whatever those things might look like.
Ms.
She's
P.
like, don't even do it. Don't go there.
Don't get it.
She is my spiritual test.
I get that. I do get that. Hi.
You know, I kind of had a pretty difficult childhood. Like, you know, I went through the ringer at an early age, and I have a friend of mine who recently told me, he's like, dude, the reason that you're so chill is because you were fucked up as a kid, and you figured it out. And he's like, dude, the reason I'm fucked up is because my childhood was basically perfect. And I was like, wow, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I kind of low key completely understand that.
Yeah.
And I think if you kind of saw where I came from and what I got out of in a lot of ways, you'd understand why I'm very chill. And all of that comes with like gratitude, and like I love my parents, and I'm like in really good places with all of those relationships that were not easy to get into good places with. But along the way, I kind of acknowledged that I was spiritual after being like what I would call myself atheist for many years, raised Catholic by my parents, totally rejected that. I'm atheist. I live in Chicago. I ride my bike and drink a lot and do a lot of smoking of cigarettes and being jaded and being a smart guy, and I'm atheist. And then somewhere along the way, I kind of acknowledged a kernel of spirituality, but not related to religion. And then that kind of kernel sprouted into like a seed and then grew into like what I think is a pretty big tree of feeling like deeply connected, which is why I also do a lot of drugs, but I only really stick to psychedelic drugs because they make me feel really tapped in and connected to the web.
I absolutely get that. It's interesting because like that's for as many years as I spent in like active hard drug addiction, the many experiences that I had with like psychedelics, I always felt more tapped into something and always came out of it wanting to be able to like shed this other like addict baggage and just not being able to because of like the physical dependency. Like I didn't have the tools to actually separate myself from that other life that I had built. And I think about it now sometimes too, where it's like those experiences are so valuable. The issue that I have is like self-medication under any circumstances is where it gets dicey. So if I am dictating the terms on which I can alter my own consciousness, like I just worry like if I do one time, like what's that gonna set off? Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel like your mental fortitude is like, or your constitution is like overall low and something that worries you?
This is what I know, and this is as the result of many years of trial and error. Once I start like changing how I feel with substances, it sets off a chain reaction that's beyond anything that I know how to understand. All I know is it happens. Do you know what I mean? And like I'm not stupid, and the fact that I've seen it happen over and over again, like despite any strength of will on my end or like desire to not go down, you know, horrible dark paths, like it still has happened. So like I have this long stretch now of being like abstinent from any mood altering or mind altering drugs. And like all I know is I don't think about that stuff anymore, and like I just sort of deal with stuff in different ways. But that's the thing that kind of freaks me out, is like if I go and I like, you know, do a little DMT or shrooms with some friends, like I know that those have in the past been positive, healthy spiritual experiences for me. But it could be the catalyst. Hey, like what if? I don't know, you know, and I just don't, like I've been burned by that stove so many times that I'm like, I don't want to go near it, you know?
It's interesting because you're a really smart person and you seem deeply in touch with yourself. So it's like this is something that really mystifies me about addiction and certain people's brain chemistry not working with the substances that we as humans have cooked up for ourselves. Like, like this is so mysterious to me, and I don't know if I'll ever understand it, where somebody as smart and self-understanding and as grown as you are can still say to me, like, this thing happens that I don't understand, this chain reaction or this imbalance. I don't know, where you would turn it and you would not be able to control it. Because when I'm on those same substances, I feel like more or less totally okay with not being in control, therefore in control.
That's not the issue. Like the not being in control, like I love, you know, and I had loved losing myself in like the deep trenches of a heavy trip and being like, I'm in the, you know, throes of an experience that's beyond my comprehension, but like I'm being exposed to some form of, you know, existential life that like is proof that there's so much more to the consciousness than I'll ever know. And like, that's such a beautiful thing. And that like, you know, whatever is out there is again, like more than I can imagine. But it's the thing of like, what happens a week later when I'm like, let's go again. And like the you know, person who I was, who used to just like, take tabs of acid and like go about my day. And like, that's fine, all well and good. But then it becomes like, well, maybe a little Xanax to like taper off at the end of the night. And then like maybe a little bump of something to like get through a tough time. And like all of a sudden those little bumps are like, I'm in the post office and I'm just like, just a little, you know, it's fine.
Yeah,
and
I don't
like,
do that.
Yeah, I did.
I know about this kind of substance, like where you tack one onto the end of another one to like kind of curb the side effects of how the one's going to make you feel.
Yeah.
And I never have been like that. I've always been like, all right, I made these choices. Now I got to feel really bad afterwards.
Dude, I was all about the chemistry. If I take, I know. It was rough. What helped with this was I had an ass kicking relapse. And that was like my last run. And it was like, it started out as innocently as anything, but it ended up the worst that it's ever been. And in such a short period of time. And I was left like so beat up and miserable. And it really forced me to go like, I don't have to understand this thing. Like you were saying, like I don't need to know. All I need to know is I can't fuck around. Like I can't afford it. But then I wonder about like, well, maybe like something ceremonial, like maybe if I'm given the terms with which to go, like, you know, you're being prescribed like an ayahuasca trip with these people who are going to take you through, and it's for, you know, it's explicitly for like this thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not closed off to that. But then I'm like, but how much am I now trying to like orchestrate a scenario in which I can go and have a trip? I don't know.
Well, you've also done a lot of drugs, so you're probably good on it.
That's the thing, right? Is like, is that Alan Watts quote? He's like, when you get the message, you hang up the phone. Or Timothy Leary, one of them. Yeah.
I did a bunch of acid when I was in my mid-20s, to the point where it was just like I would do it, and then I would just have no breakthrough, no interesting conclusion. I would just feel my skeleton, and I would feel like really crazy. And then I would literally have these thoughts that were like, I'm on acid. Great. When is it going to stop and be over?
Yeah.
And then I just stopped doing it for like 7 years. You know, and I just cracked back into trying it again, and new conclusions were made with that big gap of space.
Sure.
And like, that's me learning like, oh, that's what it's for. Like this, I treat these drugs like very, very, with high, what do you call it? Like I treat them as very special, and I'm very obsessed with moderation. I actually like quit cigarettes after being a pack-a-day smoker, and I quit drinking. And the circumstances of both of those were different, where I quit cigarettes willingly and I quit drinking after an awkward friend confrontation. And where my friend said that he thought that I was an alcoholic or that I had a problem.
You got intervened.
I did, but it was very, very weird. And when I told Maya, my wife, that I was quitting drinking because I thought that I was an alcoholic, she was like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you're not. And I was like, no, I think I am. And she's like, okay, I'm going to support you, but like, I think you sound kind of crazy. And upon reflection of that, I realized that I probably didn't have as bad of a drinking problem as I thought that I did. But because my dad has a bad history of alcohol abuse, it was just tripping me up. Like, it was just causing this like linkage of I'm going to become my father
Sure.
thing that was fucking me up.
Which is very possible.
And when I unlinked it and I just quit drinking, my confidence went skyrocket through the roof because I no longer was like going to become him.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't drink like, but maybe 3 or 4 drinks at a time over the course of a night. And if I'd go crazy, maybe I'd have like a bang up night where I'd drink 6 or 7 drinks. But when I quit cigarettes, I was like, dude, I'm so addicted to this. Like, and it feels really bad. The other one was more like affecting my psyche and like my self-image.
Yeah.
This one, nicotine, was just like a really gripping and bad addiction.
Yeah.
And then I let like both of those go over time. And then I was able to look at like, okay, I know what it feels like to quit something I was actually really addicted to. And I know what it feels like to quit something that was making me uncomfortable. And now with that toolkit, like everything else in terms of substance use, sugar, drugs, you know, phone screen time, all that stuff is like super informed by this roadmap that I've given myself, which is like, am I really actually addicted to this miserably beyond my control? Or is this making me feel uncomfortable and I need to not do it?
Yeah.
Or is it fine, and is moderation and being in touch with moderation like the most fire thing ever? Which it is.
It's funny you said Maya didn't think you were an alcoholic because, you know, I first got introduced to like recovery when I was pretty young. I was like 18 because I was, you know, having a little too much fun in high school. And I was sober for a while after that. And then when I was like entertaining the idea of starting to like drink again and stuff, all my friends were like, well, yeah, like, because you're not an alcoholic, like you're totally fine. And it's that thing of like, the only real diagnosis is a self-diagnosis, like in any capacity. And I was thinking about that when you were saying it. It's like,
it's true.
Just the fact that you hadn't like gone to any extremes or like, you know, like you got a wake up call sent through the message of, you know, that friend, and like that was enough to trigger action on your part, and like obviously it's, you know, yielded a healthy result, which is good.
Yeah, I made a private promise to myself that if anybody ever said anything to me about my drinking, I would listen to them, because I would tell my dad that he had problems with his drinking and he wouldn't listen, and then his friends would tell him and he wouldn't listen. And it's like, it's so easy to just be like, you don't know me, or you don't get it, or you like, you can just tell yourself that whatever anyone's saying is not true.
Sure, of course.
And it's just like, if you just do that, you're on a really bad track.
Yeah.
Listening to what other people say to you about you is the best knowledge you can get, even if you don't believe it. Like, at least like listen, and the fact that like, you're like, oh, why do they think that about me? And I've been like kind of obsessed with at the core of moderation, and why I think people can't get on board with moderation is because the root of moderation is self-truth and self-honesty. And if you can't be honest with yourself, you're spinning like really intricate and like minute lies to yourself that build up a very, very interesting protective wall that you hold a version of yourself inside of that's actually not the best version of yourself. So I'm like,
no, yeah, it's the version of yourself that you think that you need to be, you know,
yeah, and
out there.
I've been all about like, yeah, I'm doing too much drugs, I need to stop. Or, dude, I'm eating too much sugar, I need to stop. Okay, I'll stop. I've been on my phone too much. Okay, I'm gonna stop, and then I just stop. And like, I want to see somebody that's probably not me write a book about this, or like take this as like a stand up and what do you call it, like a self-help like tour, where it's like, what if there's a guy that just says that moderation isn't hard? Because I don't think it is hard. I'm actually having a really easy time with self-moderating.
Well, that's what's so interesting about this. And that is kind of why I started this show, is because I wanted to talk about how different people sort of deal with these things. And especially like in these bizarre, non-standard, you know, working fields that we're in, it's like, you know, we don't have the luxury of a consistent day-to-day schedule, which I think makes it harder if you're kind of dealing with anything. Is like, you still have to show up and you still have to be a million different places at once. I will say this: what you're saying is what I wished that I could be. Like, I wished that I could be the guy who took. It's not like I came out like, swallowing handfuls of pills every day. Like, it built up to that, and it was like just not being able to keep those walls up, but it wasn't like that. Like, there was a stretch of a few years where I was able to like manage it pretty well and like kind of take things as I felt them necessary. But, I couldn't sustain it. It's interesting. Because, like, yeah, I don't disagree with you, but then, like, what happens on your fringe cases, like me, where it's like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like I'm really lucky for some reason. Like, I feel extremely normal.
Maybe you are.
And very grateful for how normal I feel as a person. Like,
yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I don't do anything too much, and I'm saving a little money, and, like, I have a good amount of free time, and I work really hard, and like I don't know, I'm not.
Do you like working?
Yeah, I'm totally obsessed with it.
Yeah,
it's like in work is freedom in like a really dumb way.
No, I get
free through it. Like, I literally feel like empowered by it, excited by it. I know that I'm underpaid for what I do, which allows me freedom to like move inside of that underpaid feeling, where I think a lot of people like feel underpaid and get jaded on that, where I'm like, oh, well, I'm underpaid, so I don't have to do that right now. Or I'm underpaid, so like I'm not going to deal with that. And I'm like weirdly empowered by being underpaid right now, where it's going to that's going to run up. But in this current state, I'm like, my job requires me to do a bunch of random stuff, and some of that stuff I just deem as not worth what I'm being paid. Okay, I'm not going to do that. And other stuff that I'm more excited about, I need to work in a creative capacity, and I've found a way to do that. And I get to go on tour, and I love being in LA, and I love staying home too, and I get flown around to DJ, and I just get to, I don't know, it just feels like a dynamic and interesting life that like randomly kind of happened. But also I don't feel like I wasn't not there for it. I was there doing all of it, but
well, because you showed up and you made sure that you were doing a good job, and like that kind of is in a way enough if you're consistently there and doing a great job. Like, you're learning like what that being enough is too. Once you're like, oh, I'm enough, like, oh, cool, like I can choose to do more whenever I want. One of my favorite things about DJing is that I hold this secret power that the people in the crowd don't know. And that power is, we could be having way more fun right now if I like you. If the crowd sucks, I can do a really average job at DJing, and it's serviceable. And everybody in the crowd would be like, that was cool. But I also have the energy and the willpower inside of me to turn it way up if I want to, and go nuts and turn the energy up to 11 and be like, yeah, we're having a lot of fun right now. And decide to do all this stuff with the stems and like key matching and like doing crazy mashups. Like I just do those on the fly if I want, and I can bring a lot more fun. But if I don't like the crowd, you're just getting the most basic version of fun. Sure.
Which is enough.
Yeah.
And I don't employ that power in a way that's malicious. It's more like, dude, you guys are sucking. I don't want to do it right now. I'm like,
it's interesting too, because it's like what inspires you? Like, can you manufacture, a spark, or does it have to come from something external? And what are those things?
Well, I think the performer gives the crowd permission. Like, whatever the performer is doing allows the crowd to meet that energy level. So I kind of think a lot of indie bands will show up and be like apologetic for even being on stage. It's like, I'm sorry that I'm here.
Yeah.
And then the whole crowd is just like, stick.
Wrote this song. I hope you like it.
And you're like, wow, I feel really uncomfortable right now. I kind of hated that show, even though the band sounded good. It's like you give people permission to let go and be free.
It was also kind of, I feel like, a popular aesthetic for a while that you would see, like, like the shy indie boys. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking what that is, but.
Do you think it's political?
think everything's political. From a producer standpoint, or being on the opposite end of you as producer, I'll say this. One of the things that you do really well is like encourage people's strengths or like good ideas rather than like focusing on things that aren't working. Like that yields positive results. Yeah.
And I think that as a producer, one thing that I have learned is the most effective is to not say anything about anything until it's not working. And then when it's time to make a comment, you say it in that style.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, actually you are killing it right now. Like you front load it with a compliment. Everything you're doing is working, except I think you need to change this one little thing. So never say anything if it's all going well. And then when something isn't working, front load it with a comment and then, you know, add the criticism at the end. And I feel like it's a winning combination to get results that you're looking for.
Yeah.
But honestly, by being a producer and choosing the people, like I've done 90% of the work by choosing the team. By deciding that you should play guitar on this record, I've already like crushed it because I already know it's going to be amazing. Like I don't have to, like why I would include you on a project is because you're easy to work with. You come prepared. You are a genuine pleasure to be around. And I've never once seen you really crack in a way that I thought was like worth mentioning or like, you know, like you've just like you're a solid person and one that I'd love to continue working with. So I just keep that going.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got a few people like that now. Yeah. And just, I do genuinely feel like bringing those good people around and making them the team makes me look good, makes you look good, makes us get more work. And like, it's like, oh, that's pretty easy, you know?
Right.
You already did all the work.
Yeah.
I already did all the work. And now we're in this part of life, this season of life that's just about executing over and over. Yeah. As much as we can. Yeah. And when I realized that I turned from the learning stage of life, I'm supposed to be in school right now, which means I'm not executing. If I'm in a mindset of I'm supposed to be learning right now, I'm not thinking about executing. If I'm in a instead of I'm in the season of life of execution and I learned something along the way, I feel like that's the season of life I'm in, and being tapped in with that is like cool. We're just cruising.
A lot of good things to think about here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love working for myself. I will say that.
Yeah, I can tell.
I love sleeping until 10:30 every day.
I can't do it. I
love sleeping in with my face mask on, my eye mask on until 10:30, and then getting a cold brew and like kind of starting work at noon, and then like kind of, you know, fucking off for lunch at like 3, but then coming back hard with like 5 or 6 really good hours, you know, total. Yeah. You know, that's like a dope day.
That's a great day.
And then going out to dinner. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Are we ready for our segmento?
This one, I don't know, what do we call it? I wanted to test your knowledge of, Name that Paul. Okay.
I'm down with that.
Name that Paul. How well do you know your Pauls?
Well, I'm named after a Paul.
Are you?
McCartney.
So Adrian is going to ask us questions and
yes. So
how
each
do we do
question
this?
has 3 hints. One's hard, one's medium, and one is easy. We'll start with the hard hint.
Okay.
Nobody can guess. We'll move to the medium hint, and then we'll get to the easy one. Okay. Whoever first knows the answer or has a guess, I would say just yell it out. Yeah. And you'll get the point. So we'll start with the first one.
Let's go for it.
All right. First one, Name That Paul. Hard clue. He collaborated with a South African group to record a controversial... Deen got that.
You're going to give it to me? Okay.
You said it first.
All right.
Paul Simon.
It was great, man. You did a good job.
Thanks.
All right, number 2, hard. He played a young husband in a 1995 Jane Austen adaptation.
The only one I know is Pride and Prejudice.
Medium. He once slapped the bass in a romantic comedy. Paul Rudd. All right. 1-1.
Was the easy clue about being Ant-Man?
Marvel's charming, tiny superhero.
Yeah. I would have gotten that one.
All right. Next, Paul. Hard is he is portrayed by an actor who starred on The King of Queens.
He's portrayed by an actor?
This is a fictional Paul.
Oh. I'm going to guess it was Kevin James, but I don't know any...
Medium, he is a mall cop with a Segway
Paul
obsession.
Blart.
Fuck. Paul Blart, correct.
Damn.
Come on, man. I'm Paul.
You're Paul.
That's
okay,
two.
you know you're Paul.
I'm thinking more about this than you are in life. In
Yeah,
total life.
I know. That's why
I'm
we had you
clocking
on.
Pauls. I'm like, oh, there's one.
All right, next one. The hard clue. He wrote the soundtrack for The Family Way in 1966.
No.
Medium. His post-Beatles band was named
Paul
after
McCartney.
something with wings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Got it.
Paul McCartney. The easy was Beatle who sang Hey Jude.
I think I still would have fucked it up. Go on.
All right, so that's 3-1. Next, Paul. Hard. He is commemorated in giant roadside statues across the American
Bunyan.
Midwest.
Wow.
That's another Paul. For Paul. 4 to 1.
Great.
All right, the next one it does have a bonus point. So
This
this
is where you can come back.
I could come back. Yeah.
hard clue. This actor's father was commissioner of Major League Baseball.
Okay, well, we know it's an actor.
Medium. He brought John Adams to life on HBO.
John Adams.
Paul Dano.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. All right,
that's a 2.
4 to 3.
All right.
That is a good one.
I'm back in
was
the game.
Was the easy clue about Big Fat Liar
It
and
was
that monkey?
refused to drink Merlot and Sideways.
Sideways,
okay.
yeah.
All right, next one. He was born with microtia in his right ear and had reconstructive surgery using skin grafting from his ribs in 1982. Medium is born Stanley Burt Eisen, changed his name
Oh,
to
Kiss. Paul Stanley.
Inspired by Paul
You
McCartney
should
and Paul
get that
Rogers.
one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. So we're tied 4 to 4.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Come
That was a
back. All
comeback.
right. Here we
All
go.
right. Next
Might
one.
beat you at your own game.
Oh, I hope you don't.
Australian comedian turned actor who made the Outback cool in the 80s.
What's his name?
You were thinking of Steve Irwin.
I was thinking of Steve Irwin.
He is the star of Crocodile Dundee.
It's not.
I don't know this guy's name. I didn't even know he was Paul.
This one has no hard hint because he is too popular, says Dylan.
Oh,
so
What?
neither of you got it?
No.
It's Paul Hogan.
Paul Hogan.
All right, Dustin
No.
gets a point.
All right. Yeah, I guess Dustin can
Never
have
heard
that one.
All right, next, Paul. We've got the hard clue is this Paul has 2 kids with actress Zoe Kazan, the granddaughter of legendary filmmaker Elia Kazan.
Is it Paul Dano?
Paul Dano. Yes.
There you go.
All right.
You know my middle name is Daniel,
Oh,
Wow.
so I'm Paul Daniel.
Dude, you're so
Paul Dano.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
hard clue. Nominated for an Academy Award in 5 different decades and won 7 Golden Globes, including Best Director and 37 years
Paul
later,
Newman?
Best Supporting Actor. Correct.
Okay.
Paul Newman.
Is that a tie?
That is a tie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could we get a bonus clue or
I
a
was
bonus
gonna
one?
say, I mean, I'm down to do a tie-breaking question. If you've got any off the top of your mind.
Okay, here's one. This Paul is known by his initials. He is an American filmmaker.
P.T. Anderson.
Ooh.
That is the tiebreak.
I mean,
He
Flex
wins.
on me.
I kind of feel bad now.
5 to
I
4.
mean,
good.
you as a Paul, you get it. If we ever do
No,
like
I
a
get
Deen
it.
game, then
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah,
All right.
I'm happy to lose. I don't care.
that's true. After everything that you've been saying for the last hour, if you were just like,
If
dude,
there's a
fuck
guest
this
to
shit,
be
you should
cool to
storm out.
lose.
Oh, I should have done the bit where I got really mad.
I would love that. You still can.
No,
Nah, you can't get mad. It would be
I
out of
can't.
character.
I don't really get mad.
Yeah.
No.
Name that Paul. Congrats.
Sick. What a great show.
Absolutely sick. You're the
Yeah.
man. I love working with you. I'm so happy to
Same.
have met you.
Same.
And thanks for doing the show. Oh, right. There's one more thing you got to do. Which camera are we looking
Right
at?
here.
That one? You got to look at the camera and say, I put my pants on one leg at a time.
I put my pants on one leg at a time.
You heard it here first, folks. Thanks so much, Paul Cherry.
Thank you, Miss P.
And Miss P. Incredible guest. And we'll see you next time.
Go see Uncle Dean.
Put your pants on one leg at a time.